The knife sliced through my throat like butter on a hot knife, and I remember thinking, this can't be how it ends, not over fucking wedding invitations. Blood bubbled up, warm and metallic, as my sister's face loomed over me, her eyes wild with that fake concern she'd perfected over years of screwing me over. Nora. Oh God. It was an accident, she lied, her voice cracking just enough to sell it to the cops later. But I knew. I always knew. And as the world faded to black, the last thing I saw was the stack of those goddamn cream envelopes, addressed to my house, inviting the world to her perfect wedding while mine burned down around me. Then, nothing. A void. No white light. No tunnel. Just the echo of her betrayal rattling in my skull like loose change. When I woke up, gasping, it wasn't in a hospital bed or some ethereal afterlife. It was in my bed. Sheets tangled around me. Sunlight slicing through the blinds like it had that morning 3 months ago. The clock on my nightstand blinked 7:42 a.m. July 15th. My heart hammered as I bolted upright, staring at my hands, younger, unscarred. No faint wedding ring ghost from the engagement that never happened. I was back.
众生.
They call it in those old stories. But this was no fairy tale. This was my second chance to bury the knife in her back first. I stumbled to the bathroom mirror, splashing cold water on my face. But the reflection staring back was me, Nora Hayes, 28, graphic designer from the sleepy suburbs of Seattle, Washington. Not the broken shell who'd clawed her way through therapy after the accident. My phone buzzed on the counter, a text from Mom. Hey, sweetie. Family dinner tonight at 6? Big news. Face blowing a kiss, big news. Yeah.
Right.
That was code for Emily's engagement announcement, the one that kicked off the avalanche. I dropped the phone like it was venomous, my mind racing through the timeline I knew by heart now.
Tonight.
She'd flashed that gaudy diamond, stolen from my savings. Fun fact, and tomorrow, the invitations would hit my mailbox like shrapnel. 150 of them. All addressed to my return address because Emily forgot hers after mooching off my lease for 6 months. Betrayal doesn't hit like a thunderclap. It seeps in, slow and insidious, until you're drowning. Emily and I grew up in the shadow of Dad's early heart attack, Mom scraping by as a receptionist in a dingy dental office. I was the fixer, the one who dropped out of community college to work doubles at the coffee shop, who co-signed Mom's mortgage when the bank laughed her out. Emily? She was the golden child, the one who needed my hand-me-downs, my car, my life. By 25, she'd burned through 2 fiancés and a modeling gig that lasted as long as her sobriety. But I loved her. God help me, I did. Until she decided my stability was her launch pad. I dressed in jeans and a faded mariner's tee, the kind of casual armor that screamed unbothered seatlight, but inside, I was a storm. Driving to work, my freelance gig at a boutique ad firm in Capitol Hill, the radio droned about some tech bro scandal. But my thoughts were a highlight reel of horrors. The invitations arrived a week after the dinner, courtesy of Emily's oops at the printer. Strangers showing up at my door, exes with grudges, nosy neighbors sniffing for drama, even a process server mistaking my place for hers because of the address bleed over. My inbox flooded with RSVPs meant for her. My phone rang off the hook with vendors billing me for floral deposits. I confronted her, voice shaking. This is my home. You can't just. She'd laughed it off, champagne flute in hand. Nora. Relax. It's family. What's yours is mine. Right? That night, I found the real knife, her laptop open in the guest room. Browser tabs glowing with my bank statements. She drained my emergency fund for the ring, $8,000 I'd saved for my own escape to Portland. The secret she'd buried? Dad didn't just die of a heart attack. He OD'd on pills Mom swiped from the office, covering it up as natural causes to keep her job. Emily knew. She'd found the autopsy report years ago, used it to blackmail Mom into funding her dreams. And me? I was the patsy, the one who'd signed off on the falsified insurance claim, thinking it was mercy. By lunch, I was at my desk, sketching logos for a craft beer client, but my mouse hand trembled. Revenge wasn't a word I'd ever owned before death. It was for mob movies, not mild-mannered Norris who apologized for existing.
But now?
Now I had the script memorized. Step 1, play along. I texted Mom back. Can't wait. What's the big news? Her reply, a string of hearts. Step 2, dig deeper. Emily's schemes ran deeper than a drained account. There was the affair with my ex,
Jake.
the one she denied until I caught them in my bed. But that was small potatoes. The real bomb? Her side hustle, faking designer knockoffs and shipping them from my address, dodging taxes while I footed the utility bills. Afternoon blurred into a haze of mock-ups and coffee runs. My coworker, Lena, a tattooed barista turned junior designer with a nose for bullshit, eyed me funny. You good? Haze, look like you saw a ghost. I forced a laugh. Just wedding brain. My sister's tying the knot. She snorted. Oof. Family weddings are war zones. Mine tried to seat my queer ass next to Aunt Bible Thumper, Seattle's progressive underbelly craft breweries. Rainbow flags on every porch clashed hard with my family's Midwestern transplant toxicity. We Hazes clung to that apple pie facade, barbecues in July, passive-aggressive passive Facebook posts. But underneath?
Rot.
I clocked out early, detouring to the Pike Place market for intel. Emily's big news dinner meant she'd be peacocking her ring at the family spot, a kitschy Italian joint in Fremont called Vinny's. I knew the waiter, Marco, a lanky Italian kid I'd hooked up with post-Jake breakup. Nora, long time, he grinned, wiping down a booth. You here for the Hayes Circus? I slid him a 20.
Spill.
Emily's been in. He leaned in, voice low. Last week, with some suit. Tall guy, gold cufflinks. They were loud, talking deposits, offshore accounts. Sounded shady.
Offshore. Bingo.
Emily wasn't just mooching, she was laundering. Mom's dental office had a side gig, siphoning Medicare funds through fake procedures. Emily was the middleman, routing cash via shell weddings. Ironic.
Huh?
Back home, I paced my Craftsman bungalow, the one I'd bought with sweat equity while Emily couch surfed. The mailbox yawned empty. A mercy for now. But I could feel the noose tightening, the same dread that led to that kitchen accident. She'd lured me over with tears about cold feet, then tripped with the paring knife during our heart-to-heart. Self-defense. The jury bought. Manslaughter charge dropped to probation because sisters fight. I got the sympathy cards. She got the GoFundMe for therapy. Dinner loomed. I showered, blow-dried my auburn waves into submission, slipped into a black sheath dress that said supportive but not thrilled. Mirror Nora looked fierce, green eyes sharp, freckles dusting my nose like war paint. You're not the victim this time. I whispered. You're the goddamn Reaper. The drive to Vinny's snaked through evening traffic, rain-slicked streets reflecting neon signs. Mom's minivan was already parked crooked, a beacon of chaos. Inside, the air smelled of garlic and red wine, laughter spilling from our corner booth like cheap perfume. Emily held court, ring flashing under the Edison bulbs. Jake at her side, my Jake, with his boyish grin and tech startup dreams. Mom beamed, Dad's empty chair a ghost. Nora, there she is, Emily trilled, air-kissing my cheeks. Up close, her Botox smile cracked at the edges. We ordered lasagna for me, because comfort in carbs, and the toasts began. Jake clinked glasses. To Emily, my everything. I sipped Chianti, tasting ash. Memories of their tangled sheets flashing like strobe lights. You think this is love? I wanted to scream. It's theft. But I smiled, nodded, played the doting sister. Under the table, my phone vibrated, an anonymous tip from a burner app I'd set up post-rebirth. Check Emily's IG DMs, wedding planners blowing up about address mix-up. Already, the invites were printing. As plates cleared, Mom leaned in, eyes glassy. Nora. Honey. We were thinking. For the save the dates. Could we use your address? Emily's mail's all over the place since the move. There was the hook. Emily chimed in. Doe-eyed. Please? It's just temporary. Family sticks together. Jake nodded like a bobblehead. My pulse thundered, but I kept my voice steady, laced with that passive Seattle chill. Sure. Why not? What's family for? They cheered, oblivious. I excused myself to the bathroom, locking the stall to scroll Emily's hacked Insta, easy pickings with her password 123 bullshit. DMs flooded. WTF. Nora's address on 150 invites? Fix this. From the planner, the florist, even Jake's mom. The secret unspooling. Emily hadn't moved. She'd been evicted from her Capitol Hill walk-up for non-payment, crashing at a sugar daddy's downtown. And the suit from Vinny's? Her accountant, cooking books for the laundering op. Dad's death. The pills were Mom's. But the trigger was Emily's binge-buying spree that maxed the credit cards, pushing him over. Back at the table, I slid into the booth, fork scraping china. So, Inc. Who's handling the invites? Don't want another oops like your birthday party RSVPs. She waved it off. All good. Printers tomorrow. Jake's hand on her thigh, possessive, familiar. Mine first. My brain snarled. The meal dragged. Small talk about centerpieces and vows. But my mind mapped the kill shots, exposed the fraud to the IRS, leaked the affair to Jake's board. His startup was courting VCs. Torched the wedding with a viral thread on the family subreddit. Driving home, rain lashing the windshield, I pulled over on Aurora Avenue, breaths ragged. This wasn't just revenge, it was reclamation. The old Nora would have swallowed it, paid the bills, faded into wallpaper. New Nora? She'd make them choke on their own lies. But doubt wormed in. What if I became the monster? Emily's eyes at dinner, sparkling with stolen joy. No. She chose this. They all did. The invitations hit like a flash flood. 2 days post-dinner, my mailbox overflowed, boxes of crisp envelopes. My address stamped bold on every return label. The printer, some Vistaprint knockoff in Ballard, had Emily's script notes attached. Use sister's address, temp. I hauled them inside, stacking them on the kitchen island like evidence in a crime scene. 150 invitations. Each one a tiny betrayal, scented with vanilla and entitlement. I slit one open. Emily Marie Hayes and Jacob Ellis Thornton request the honor. Honor. The word tasted like bile. Work that day was a farce. I pitched a rebrand for a local distillery, voice steady as I clicked through slides, but Lena clocked the shadows under my eyes.
Spiel. Girl.
Wedding drama, over lunch at a food truck, tacos al pastor. Because Seattle summers demanded spice, I cracked. Not the full resurrection tale. Obviously, that'd land me in psych hold. My sister's using my address for her invites. Without asking. Now my life's a mailroom. Lena's brow arched. Piercings glinting. Boundaries.
Nora.
Set M or drown. She was right. In this city of flannel and therapy speak, we preach self-care like gospel. But my family, they were Old Testament eye for an eye, but only if it was their eye. By evening, the fallout began. First call, a wrong number RSVP from Emily's sorority sister in Tacoma. Nora? Wait. Is this the Hayes wedding? Love the address. Cute neighborhood.
Cute.
My bungalow, with its creaky porch swing and herb garden I'd planted post-Jake, wasn't a prop. Next, a certified letter, a vendor subpoena for Emily's bounce check, addressed to me. Then the doorbell, 3 times in an hour. A delivery guy with peonies, wrong house. Jake's cousin with a drunk, early gift of Prosecco. And worst, my landlord, Mr. Patel, frowning at the pile visible through the window. MS. Hayes. No parties. Lease says quiet enjoyment. I stammered apologies. Heat rising. The old Nora surfacing like a bad habit. That night, alone with a bottle of Pinot and my laptop, I weaponized the web. First, the hack deepened. Emily's email, forwarded to a dummy account. Goldmine threads with the accountant. Suit Sam, detailing wire transfers to Cayman accounts. Mom's dental office logs, phantom patients. Billed at $500 a pop. Dad's heart attack. Forged EKG readings to mask the OD. Emily's role, the honey trap. Seducing elderly clients for consults that padded the books. And Jake, complicit. His startup, a front for funneling laundered cash into innovative fintech. I drafted the anonymous tip to the IRS fax only. No flair. Attached PDFs of statements. Timestamps matching the invite's print date. Fraudulent address usage as part of larger scheme. Send? My finger hovered. Controversial decision 1. Pull the trigger now, or let it simmer. Simmer 1. Let them taste the peak before the plummet. Morning brought escalation. My phone exploded. 47 voicemails. Half spam from bots scraping the guest list leak. Emily's fault. She'd posted a sneak peek on TikTok with my zip code blurred just enough. The other half.
Hate.
Emily's ex, a bitter gym bro from CrossFit, ranting about stealing his girl. Jake's ex-colleague, sniffing for dirt on the startup. I blocked them, but the dread settled like fog off the sound. This was the prelude to my death, the isolation, the paranoia that drove me to Emily's confession dinner, where she'd ply me with wine and accidentally gut me. I called in sick, barricaded in my home office, a converted sunroom with views of evergreens and the Olympics hazy in the distance. Seattle's beauty mocked me, rain pattering the roof like applause for their farce. I turned to X, formerly Twitter, because irony for reconnaissance. Emily's handle at mhaysglowup trended locally. Seattle bride goals. Photos of dress fittings. Ring flexes. Comments gushed. But deeper dives revealed the rot. A thread from a jilted vendor. Beware Hayes weddings, bounce checks, and ghosting. I amplified it with a sock puppet account. At Suburban Shade. Dropping breadcrumbs. When your sis uses your address for 150 invites. Is it love or liability? Replies poured in solidarity from AITA refugees. Advice from boundary coaches. One DM stopped me cold. Nora? It's Marco. Heard about the invites. Emily's in deep. Saw her with Sam at the casino last night. High stakes poker. But the bets? Your mom's practice funds.
Casino.
The Emerald Queen. Tacoma's guilty pleasure for desperate souls. I screenshotted. Filed with the IRS draft. But revenge needed teeth. Controversial decision to confront Jake. Alone. I texted him. Coffee?
Need to talk wedding stuff.
Fremont Bridge spot. 2 p.m. He bit eager beaver, thinking I'd bless their union. The cafe overlooked the water. Hipsters typing on MacBooks. Indie folk strumming in the corner. Jake arrived in chinos and a Patagonia vest. All earnest millennial charm.
Nora.
Congrats on the...
Well.
You know. He air-hugged, smelling of sandalwood and deceit. We ordered lattes, mine black. His a quad with oat milk foam art. Look. About the address, he started.
Sheepish.
Emily said you'd cool with it.
Lie.
I leaned in, voice low.
Jake.
The invites are here. 150. And the emails? Vendors billing me. His face paled. Adam's apple bobbing.
Shit.
I'll fix. I cut him. It's not just that. I know about the startup. The investments from Mom's office. His eyes darted, guilty as sin. What are you? The laundered cash. Emily's cut. Dad's death, covering the debts she racked up. I slid my phone across. Autopsy snippet glowing. Forged, but close enough. He deflated, whispering, Nora.
Please.
It's not what it is. And you're in bed with her. Literally. The affair, our bed, my sheets. His hand twitched toward mine. Placating. I love her.
But you.
We were good once. Good. The word ignited something feral. Old Nora would have melted. Forgiven for scraps.
New?
I stood. Coffee steaming untouched. End it.
Jake.
Or the IRS gets a wedding gift. I walked out. Pulse roaring. The bridges hum vibrating under my feet. Controversial? Blackmailing my ex? In Seattle's therapy culture, it was radioactive. But justice wasn't polite. Home. The pile mocked me. I shredded half. Cathartic confetti raining down. But the doorbell rang, Mom. Unannounced. Arms full of Tupperware. Sweetie. Thought you'd need fuel for the drama. Her hug smelled of Clinique and worry. Over meatloaf reheated on my stove. She cracked. Emily's stressed. The planner's upcharging for the address fix.
Stressed.
Try scamming.
Mom.
The money for the ring. The venue. Where's it from? She froze. Fork midway. Your savings? Em said you okayed. Lies layered like phyllo. I pressed. Gentle. Dad. The pills. I know. Tears welled. Her voice a whisper. He couldn't take it anymore.
The debts.
Emily's rehab. The house. I fudged the chart. For us.
Us.
The family news. I hugged her, but inside, gears turned. Mom was the weak link. Break her. The chain shattered. Night fell. City lights twinkling like distant fires. I hit send on the IRS tip, anonymous.
Airtight.
Then, the real play, a GoFundMe for Emily's dream wedding, seeded with fake donors, linked to @SuburbanShades thread. Help the Hayes sis whose invites doxed her own blood. Donations trickled, $50 here, $200 there. I routed them to a charity for fraud victims. Poetic. But sleep evaded. Dreams replayed the knife. Emily's feigned horror. Waking sweat-soaked. I vowed, no mercy. The wedding was 6 weeks out. Time to escalate. Week 2 of the siege. And my life was a pressure cooker. Work emails pinged with urgent, clients smelling blood in the water. My rebrand pitch delayed because who'd trust a designer whose home was a public bulletin board? Lena covered for me. Brewing excuses over Slack. Nora's battling a family hex. Send good vibes. Seattle Solidarity. My team sent a DoorDash care package of pho and matcha. But isolation gnawed. Friends ghosted after the third. Is this the wedding house? Call. My therapist, pre-death habit, canceled when her receptionist got an invite spam. Emily's damage control was a circus. She stormed my place midweek. Yoga pants and Lululemon top screaming performative wellness. Nora.
Babe.
The printer screwed up. I'll pay for stamps or whatever. Stamps. As if. The living room reeked of her Chanel knockoff as she paced. Ring catching light like a taunt. Jake's pissed. His mom's on a rampage about privacy. Privacy. I sipped tea, chamomile, to keep from throttling her, and nodded. Fix it.
Imminência.
Redirect the mail. She deflated. Crocodile tears pooling. You're the best. Sisters forever. Forever. The word curdled. Post-hug. Rifling her purse for gum, I palmed her phone. Unlocked shocker. Text to suit Sam. Nora sniffing. Accelerate transfers. Wedding cash tight. And to Jake, babe. Tell your board it's legit. Offshore secure. I snapped pics. Uploaded to my burner drive. Revenge log. Entry 17. Controversial decision 3. Go public. Not full blast. Tease the thread. @SuburbanShade posted at midnight. When your family's wedding turns your home into a free-for-all, 150 invites. 0 consent. But wait, there's fraud frosting. Family fiasco, Seattle secrets attached. Blurred bank transfer screenshot. No names. Views spiked, 500. Then 2K. Comments erupted. AIEA for exposing? NTA. Burn it down. A local podcaster DM'd. Story?
Tempting.
But timing was key. Let the wedding hype build. Then detonate. Mom called next day. Voice quavering. Nora. What's this online noise? Emily's crying, says you're jealous. Jealous. Of a scam artist in white lace? I drove to her office, a strip mall eyesore in Shoreline, bypassing the receptionist with a wave. Mom in her cubicle. Scrubs faded. Files stacked like accusations. It's over.
Mom.
The money. The lies. Dad deserved better. She crumpled. confessing in sobs. Emily's first rehab was a scam, partying in Vegas, funded by pilfered scripts. The OD? Dad discovering the safe empty.
Pills as escape.
I covered for her. For all of us. All of us. The guilt I'd carried, signing the insurance lie, thinking it spared her shame.
Now?
Fuel. Turn yourself in, I said, hard as quartz. Or I will. Her eyes widened, betrayal reversed. You're my daughter, and Emily's your downfall. I left her weeping, the rain mirroring tears on my windshield. Controversial? Forcing a mother's hand? In America's bootstraps myth, family loyalty was sacred. But mine was a cult. Escalation hit warp speed. The GoFundMe hit $5,000, ironic donors mocking the plea. Vendor circled, florist suing for $2,000. Caterer threatening liens on my property. Mr. Patel texted, eviction notice if resolved by Friday. Emily's response? Radio silence. Then a group chat nuke. Nora's being dramatic. Wedding on. Love you all.
Dramatic.
I laughed, bitter. Then plotted the mid-climax, crashed the bridal shower. It was at a vineyard in Woodinville, wine country chic, fairy lights and charcuterie towers. I arrived uninvited, gift bag swinging, a framed photo of Dad. Pre-lies. Emily's bridal party, sorority clones in pastel sundresses, hushed as I approached the head table. Jake hovered. Protective, Mom avoided eyes. Surprise, I said. Voice carrying. Thought I dropped truth bombs instead of confetti. Gasps rippled. I set the photo down. Then pulled my phone projector app cued to the drive. Blurred slides, transfers, texts, the autopsy glitch. Emily's wedding? Built on your grandma's Medicare checks. Dad's grave? Paved with her emergencies. The vineyard fell silent. Save crickets and distant traffic. Emily lunged. Face twisted. Lies. You're unhinged. Post-death stress.
Post-death.
Slip of tongue. But they chalked it to wine. Jake yanked her back. A bridesmaid filmed. Nora. Stop, Mom begged. But I didn't. The address? Tip of the iceberg. Check your invites. Return to senders about to be federal. Chaos erupted, screams. Wine spilled. The video going live on Insta Stories. I slipped out. Heart pounding. The gravel crunching under heels like applause. Driving back. I called the podcaster. Booked. Tomorrow. Controversial decision for Media Blitz. Expose the family on air. Therapy be damned. Seattle's Alt Weekly picked it up too. Suburban scandal. Wedding invites ignite fraud firestorm. By dawn, my phone was a war zone. Reporters. Threats. One from Emily. You'll regret this. Blood's thicker. Thicker than lies? Doubt it. But the twist loomed. I felt it in my bones. The rebirth's echo warning of unseen threads. Work suspended me, optics. Nora, but Lena smuggled files to my door. You're a legend, she whispered. Alone. I prepped for the podcast. Facts. No emotion. The host, a gravel-voiced ex-PI named Riley, leaned in my cot. So, Nora Hayes, reborn from betrayal. I paused. Chills. Reborn. Something like that. We unpacked it. The invites as catalyst. The fraud web. The accident I'd skirt as near-miss family fight. Listeners flooded the hotline. My sis did the same. Ruined my credit. Post-show. Blowback hit. Jake cornered me at a gas station off I-5, eyes bloodshot. You tanked us. Board pulled funding, called it reputational risk. Good. Tell Emily, game's over. He grabbed my arm, hard. She didn't kill your spirit.
Nora.
You did.
Kill.
The knife flashed. I wrenched free, knee connecting with his groin. Touch me again. And it's assault charges. He crumpled, cursing. Victory tasted sour. Home. The shredded invites reformed in my mind, a paper phoenix. But a knock shattered the night. Cops. MS. Hayes. Complaint from Emily, harassment. Handcuffs glinted. Controversial? My war crossed lines. As they read rights, Emily's face haunted, smug in the squad car's mirror. She'd flipped it, victim now. The antagonist's moxie. Bale was mom, ironic savior, picking me up at 3 a.m., silent drive. Why? Nora? Because you wouldn't. At home. I crashed, dreaming of the void prairie birth. Waking, resolve hardened. The wedding was 2 weeks out. Climax called. The arrest was a speed bump, not a wall. Charges dropped. Insufficient evidence. Emily's story too thin, but the stain lingered. Neighbors whispered behind raincoats. My freelance gigs dried up like Puget Sound in drought. Lena rallied a GoFundMe of her own, support Nora from docks to Bost. It surged to $10,000, enough for a lawyer consult. But money wasn't the win. Exposure was. The podcast episode hit 50K downloads, spawning a Substack series, The Hayes Heist. Readers devoured the drip feed, weekly drops of redacted docs. Emily's texts anonymized but damning. Emily's counter? Desperate spins. A tearful TikTok, family feud gone wrong, praying for healing. Views, 1M, but comments skewered. Fake tears. Fraud bride Jake ghosted public, but private DMs begged, stop. She's pregnant. Pregnant. The twist gut punched. My hand flew to my own flat belly, echo of the miscarriage I'd buried post-Jake, blamed on stress. Emily's? Time to the affair's peak. Dates matched, conception during our engagement, when she played comforter after he dumped me. Rage boiled, but clarity cut through. This wasn't just theft, it was erasure. She'd stolen my future, ring, home, now legacy. Controversial Decision 5, the nuclear option. Leaked the pregnancy to the board via a concerned insider email. CCNG, the family group. Jacob Thornton startup, funded by fraud. Fathering fraudster's child. Attached, clinic receipt. Emily's ultrasound pic swiped from her cloud. Fallout was biblical. Jake's board ousted him, press release citing personal conduct. Emily's bridal party imploded, the vineyard refunded, citing toxicity clause. Mom checked into rehab voluntary. Her call after the IRS raid on the dental office. Agents swarmed Vinny's that week. Cuffing suit Sam mid-martini. Emily fled to a cousin's in Spokane. Posting from a burner. Betrayed by blood. Starting over. The wedding day dawned gray. Typical Seattle tease. I drove to the courthouse, not for vows, but vigil. No dress. Just jeans and a hoodie. Coffee in hand from a cart named Karma. Guests trickled in fewer than 50. The 150 invites now confetti in my shredder. Emily emerged, white sheath straining over the bump. Jake absent. Solo vows? Pathetic. She spotted me across the square. Eyes narrowing, hate.
Pure.
Haven't you done enough? Voice cracked. No filter. I stepped closer. Rain misting us both. Enough? You gutted me.
Eminencia.
Literally. The word hung, her flinch confirming she remembered the accident truth. It was a fight, she hissed. You pushed first about Jake. The money.
Lie.
But close. In the original timeline, I'd confronted her pregnancy's secret post-invites. Wine-fueled rage leading to the knife slip. Self-defense. She'd sold. Now, preempted. You chose this, I said, voice steady. The fraud. The theft. Dad's death on your tab. Her hand cradled the bump. Mine.
Once.
This baby's innocent.
True.
The twist's mercy.
Keep it.
But the rest? Yours to own. Cops arrived then, not mine. Hers. Federal warrant. Wire fraud. Identity theft via the address scam. She crumpled, cuffs clicking soft.
Nora.
Please. No sister left in me. Tell the truth. For once. They led her away. Guests scattering like startled pigeons. Mom texted from rehab. Proud of you. Healing starts today. I walked to the waterfront. Sound lapping gray. Ferries cutting wakes. Rebirth's cost. Family ash. But freedom's flame. Controversial? Ruining a wedding. Jailing kin? America's justice porn cheered. True crime pods option my story. Book deals whispered. But in quiet moments, doubt lingered. Was I avenger or architect of pain? Months blurred. I relocated, Portland. As planned, new gig at a eco-ad agency. Loft overlooking the Willamette. Lena visited. Toasting with IPAs. You slayed. Hayes. No Jake. No Emily, Mom wrote letters. Clean now. Seeking amends. The baby? Born in county lockup. Emily paroled to a halfway house. She reached out once. Forgive? For the kid. I didn't reply. Forgiveness was a luxury. Survival. Necessity. One night. Sketching by window light. Phone buzzed, an X alert. At M. Hayes glow up. Revived, out. Grateful. Nora saved me from myself. A photo, her and the baby. Nondescript park. No ring. A comments mixed hate. Hope. I liked it. Not happy ending. Not tragedy. Redemption's gray. But in the mirror, Nora stared back, scarless.
Sharp.
The knife's echo faded. I'd returned, revenged, reclaimed. And in America's endless reinvention, that was enough.